The Price of Regret, A Love Lost and Found. Sophia and Jason had always been a power couple, both from wealthy families, both successful, and both deeply in love. Sophia was the daughter of a successful business magnate, the heir to her father's Fortune 500 company, and poised to take over the reins as the next CEO. Jason, equally driven, came from a well-off family that had built a luxury real estate empire. Their shared ambition and mutual respect made them the perfect match, and they had been dating for 3 years. Their love story the envy of many. For Jason, Sophia was everything strong, intelligent, beautiful, and independent. Their love was one of mutual admiration, and their relationship had flourished in the high society circles they frequented. But everything began to change when Jason's first love, Serena, re-entered the picture. Serena was famous, glamorous, and captivating, a pop star with an army of devoted fans. She had a magnetic presence that could pull anyone in, including Jason. When they reconnected, old feelings resurfaced, and Jason became caught up in the whirlwind of her fame. He found himself increasingly drawn away from Sophia, and what started as harmless flirtation turned into something much deeper. Serena, with her charm and ego, knew how to manipulate Jason's vulnerabilities and convince him that he deserved more than a life in the shadow of his girlfriend's family legacy. Sophia, oblivious at first to what was happening, noticed Jason pulling away, becoming distant and less attentive. Their late-night conversations, once filled with laughter and dreams of their future together, were now reduced to awkward silences. When she confronted him, Jason simply claimed he was going through something and needed space. One fateful evening, Jason's betrayal hit its peak. He came to Sophia's apartment, intoxicated with both alcohol and the new attention Serena lavished on him. They had a passionate argument, which led to Jason confessing that he had fallen for Serena. As the words left his mouth, the pain in Sophia's eyes was palpable. The woman she had been building her life with for years was walking away from her, choosing fame and a shallow relationship over their deep connection. To add insult to injury, Serena publicly humiliated Sophia, mocking her for being just the CEO's daughter and claiming that Jason deserved someone who could bring excitement to his life. Heartbroken, Sophia made the difficult decision to cut Jason out of her life. She no longer needed someone who could so easily toss her aside. With the unwavering support of her family, she threw herself into her work, focusing on taking over the reins of her father's company and establishing herself as a leader in her own right. Despite the pain, she held her head high, knowing she was worth more than a man who couldn't appreciate her. Meanwhile, Jason, despite his success and newfound relationship with Serena, couldn't shake the nagging feeling that he had made a grave mistake. The glitz and glamour of Serena's world began to lose its appeal as he realized how empty and manipulative she truly was. She was selfish, cruel, and only cared about herself and her career. Every time Jason tried to have a meaningful conversation with her, she brushed him off, reminding him of how lucky he was to be with someone as famous as her. After months of being treated like an accessory, Jason knew he had to leave Serena. He was consumed by guilt, especially as he realized the love he had tossed aside Sophia was the one who had always understood him. He made it his mission to find her, to apologize, and to beg for her forgiveness, even though he knew he had no right to expect it. Jason's journey wasn't easy. His wealth and status couldn't erase the damage he had done. He faced several dead ends, awkward reunions with old friends who were no longer on his side, and the sharp sting of knowing he had betrayed the one woman who had truly loved him. But his determination to make things right pushed him forward. Eventually, he tracked Sophia down, finding her in a chic cafe, her gaze as cold as the coffee she was sipping. "Sophia," Jason said, his voice heavy with regret. "I was wrong. Please just hear me out." Sophia looked at him for a long moment before she sighed, a sad smile crossing her face. "Jason, you had your chance. I loved you. But you chose someone else." She took a deep breath before continuing. "And I'm not that girl anymore." Jason, desperate, fell to his knees in front of her. "Please, I made a mistake. I thought I wanted her. but she's nothing compared to what we had. I'll do anything, just give me one more chance. Sophia's eyes softened, but only for a moment. You left me for her. That's not a mistake. Jason, that's a choice. I don't need your apology. I've moved on. Sophia had transformed. She was no longer the heartbroken girl who had once given everything for a man who didn't appreciate her. She had grown into a strong, self-assured woman. She was ready to take over her father's company and had already taken the first steps in establishing herself as one of the youngest and most successful CEOs in the industry. As she looked at Jason, she realized that she didn't need him to feel complete. But life had a twist in store for them. As Sophia was preparing for her wedding day, a life-altering revelation came to light. She was set to marry Luca, the heir to one of the wealthiest Mafia families in the world. Luca was charming, protective, and completely in love with Sophia. He respected her strength, her intelligence, and loved her in a way that Jason never could. Their love was built on mutual admiration and trust. Luca had known from the moment they met that Sophia was the one for him. She was more than just beautiful. She was powerful, driven, and fiercely independent. The two were an unstoppable force together. On the day of their wedding, Jason showed up, pleading one last time for Sophia to take him back. His words fell on deaf ears as she stared at him. Her heart no longer swayed by his regrets. She had found someone who truly valued her, and she wasn't going to let him go. Sophia and Luca married in a grand ceremony, surrounded by family, friends, and the people who truly loved them. As Jason was escorted out by Luca's bodyguards, he knew it was over. His opportunity had passed, and there was no way to turn back time. Sophia and Luca's life together was one of love, wealth, and happiness. They had children and built a beautiful family, their empire growing even more powerful. Jason, on the other hand, was left to reflect on his mistakes, a reminder that some things, once lost, are impossible to reclaim. Jason's regret would haunt him for the rest of his life. But Sophia, strong and unbreakable, had found her true love, someone who saw her for who she truly was, and loved her for it. She didn't need the man who had once betrayed her. She had everything she had